Ah, god damn it, guys. I recording this now for the second time because I was muted, man. This now happened 2 times in a row. Okay, let's jump straight into the archive. Let's check out the new animals are here. Let's talk about these new animals. Already the other patch changes are already live. I will show that stuff in a later video today. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any new uploads, as well as turn on the notifications. That helps as well. Okay, let's jump straight into the 2 new units. Okay, we have first up Misuzumi Aya, which is a green unit, and I already had a feeling she is gonna be that type of unit because I felt like they're not gonna bring another strong healer into this game on the green side because green already has more than enough, and I felt like it's most likely the way she looks like a turn meter pusher, or not necessarily turn meter pusher, but I viewed her as a buff effect. And then with the Kazuya nerf, I could have also seen her being like a new green CC unit with like AoE sleeping or something, and that's why they might have decided to nerf the Kazuya. But no, it's actually the first case. And let's take a look at her kit real quick. So when we're looking at the first kit here, at first skill is after attacking, there's a 25% chance to reduce all enemy skills by 1 turn. Very good. Very good. It's a unique, can help a lot, right? Now if we look at her prowess here real quick, so she has the speed in her slot 1, so she could also be an option. Like usually you want to play Bullock and stuff like that, to strive, but you know what, Battle Will might also be an option, or maybe even Bramble. I don't know if it can proc on, I don't think it procs on Kana. Maybe on Battle Will it can actually proc because you're following up with another S1, so you have a higher chance of procking this. You know what, could also be the case that doesn't work, but hey, we gotta talk about it nonetheless. Now what does her passive skill 2 does? At the start of each turn, purifies 1 debuff effect from all allies and heals them for 15% of their max HP upon successful purification. Now if we look at it here at level 5, it says this effect can still trigger when unable to act. So basically if she does not have the skill, if this is not level 5 and she gets CC'd, right, she will not purify a debuff and she will also not heal. So keep that in mind. If she's level 5, she can do that while being stunned. And this is a huge thing, so this one is maybe something if you're playing on the slower side you want to prioritize. But let's take a look at her S3 because this is where it's all about, and we have to take a look at her base speed. So she has 120 base speed. Okay, Misuzumi Aya increases all allies turn meter by 40%. 40% is a lot. And reduces all animus and shell skill CD by 1 turn. Whenever a unit dies, reduces the skill CD by 2 turns. If this skill has no cooldown, increases Misuzumi Aya's turn meter by 80%. Now if you look at her advancement, level 2 turn meter boost effective 35%, and skill 2 down reduced by 2 at level 3, and level 4 turn meter boost changed to 40% and 80. So what you want to have her, if you look at these abilities, she has HP here in her kit, and then in the second one she probably has resist. Yes, makes sense. And then the speed in her as well. But looking at this from the very get-go, you want to play on, in terms of lattices, is 4-1-4. This is what you want to start off with. Later down 5 you want to have that 5. I feel like you later down the line you want to have a 5-1-5, but where it gets decent with her is 4-1-4. This is where you want to have to kick things off really with her, because that is really good overall. Now how in what type of playstyles does she fit? She actually fits in every type of playstyle really, because she helps out different roles, right? She helps turn 1 players, she also helps turn 2 players, but in my personal opinion she's more of a turn 1 unit than she actually truly is a turn 2 unit. To be honest with you guys, I think she's more of a turn 1 unit. I think she helps more turn 1 players than she helps turn 2 players because of the boosting and everything that's going on with her. That is very helpful because it's another option you can have, because there are limited pools of units you can use overall, but she adds just another extra bit of layout for helping you, reducing your cooldowns and everything and stuff like that, pushing you in front. And the way she works is here, whenever a unit dies, reduce the skill CD by 2 turns. Okay, and if the skill has no cooldown, increases Misuzumi Aya's turn meter by 80%. So basically what it means is if you use that skill, it's on cooldown, and a unit dies, then it gets reduced by 2. But let's say the skill is not on cooldown, right, and the unit dies, now she gets a turn meter, immediate turn, right? So keep that in mind. She has like comeback mechanics as well. So this is fairly interesting to look at, so that if something gets killed, now she gets an immediate turn. right? That's basically it. She has an auto cut feature. Okay, she's an auto cut feature. Maybe like even if you're, for example, you are in a speed battle, for example, you have her in your team, right? And your opponent is killing something from your side, right? Now she's getting pushed and cuts. Now she gets her turn and now she's doing her spray. So this will be interesting to see how the meta develops with her in the game as well. Like she can be either a turn 1 or turn 2. I can see both sides really. Like this is something you gotta keep in mind. She is gonna be a very strong, I have a feeling she's gonna be a very strong RTA unit. And she will contest probably Plume in terms of first pick. Yes, I actually believe so. It depends on your draft. Now let's take a look at Kucati real quick. I'm so excited, chat, guys, because we have finally a red DPS unit, and it's not just a red DPS unit, it's a red AoE DPS unit. Fantastic. We have so much green in the meta game right now with Fushu, Zanya, Rahu, Mizuki, and so on and so forth, right? They're going Hawkwood, so this is exactly what we needed to deal with this type of thing, right? And he can also deal with Horn because he's red, right? Okay, let's take a look at him really quick. So with his skill 1, it's a single hit, 240%, and then he gets 1 stack of the Calamity Flame, and the S1 increases the amount of stacks he can gain for his Calamity Flame and the damage boost he gets. So what does Calamity Flame do? Each stack of Calamity Flame increases the true indirect damage added by Flame Strike, and Flame Strike is the passive ability of Kucati. Increase the true indirect damage added by Flame Strike with the damage increase equal to 1.5% of the target's max HP, not exceeding 20% of Kucati's attack, can stack up to 16 times, cannot be dispelled. Now, how does this look like? Now, let's take a look at his, I think to understand the Calamity Flame and the Flame Strike, we gotta look at the next one, the passive. When any ally is alive, Kucati cannot be selected as the primary target by enemy skills. He has an inbuilt law effect. It's crazy. Inbuilt law effect. He cannot be targeted. It's huge. That's very huge. This effect does not work when under control effects. So basically, if you stun him, then you can target him. If you don't stun him, you cannot target him. When Kucati has the Calamity Flame effect and scores a crit, it will deal 1 additional hit of true indirect damage based on the target's max HP. That sounds like a little bit like what is it called, Revelation, right? So he's like also, I feel like this is some sort of type of, since it's true indirect damage, this is similar to Revelation overall. He basically has Law and Revelation built into his kit here, right? After every 2 actions, Kucati deals 300% damage to all enemies, increases all allies' turn meter by 20%, and applies crit rate for 2 turns. But here it is not mentioned if it's just for him with the passive or it's to his entire team, okay? Then applies 2 stacks of Calamity Flame to himself, which is huge. Because when we look at it as free now, which is Kucati unleashes Blazing Flame, he gets a crit rate buff, so he self crit rate buffs him. Okay, he self crit rate buffs him for 2 turns, then dealing 360% damage to all enemies, increasing his turn meter by 35% and applying 3 stacks of Calamity Flame. So you start off, he gets his turn, he gets this buff, so you do the S3, obviously hit everybody with that big fat hit. He gets now 35% turn meter as well to that. Now he has 3 stacks already, that's 4.5% to this Calamity Flame. Now once he gets his action, now Flame Strike is going to trigger for 300% because it's now his 2nd action he is taking. He then increases the turn meter for all his allies by 20% and applies crit rate up. This is, I'm telling you, this is wild. This is actually wild. But yeah, I think for him to truly see how he plays out, I need to test him next week when this patch, when these characters coming up. I'm definitely going to pull him because I like this. I want an AoE DPS that potentially hits very hard. This is exactly what it looks like, but I need to see it in practice, and we'll test him extensively to see where he is in the battle. Now if we look at his advanced, so he has the attack in his S1, he has, I saw, crit rate in his 2, which makes sense because he also gets a crit rate buff. So basically what you can do one of 2 things. You can either play him without crit rate, so you play him on a attack double crit damage build, or you play him on crit rate, right? And he because P2 you also get 8% crit rate, so it's easy time to get him up easily to the 60% mark. Because if I let me review real quick, because I'm sometimes too okay, you need 70%, so only 60% crit rate, right? But yeah, so once he's at 70%, he self crit rate buffs himself, so he's at 100%. But you can also play him at 100% crit rate and then get the crit rate buff, because that puts him at 130%, which is good. Because if you, for example, face Tiamats, now he can crit them every single time. Okay, so if you over crit with 130%, you can crit blue units, so keep that in mind. But what you also need to keep in mind is he has actually very low base attack, because he only has 1023, and that is with P3 active. So without any dupes, right, without any dupes, he's probably around 940-ish, something, 948, 950, something around these lines. And once you get these 2 dupes for him, this is where he turns into the 1023 range. Yeah, but super excited for these 2 new units. I cannot wait to play them out, because this is gonna be so good. It's gonna be, if he satisfies me in terms of damage, because I have the right build for him, oh boy, I'm gonna have a field day. I'm gonna have a field day in Etheria. I'm gonna have a field day in RTA. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, I cannot wait for this to actually come into game, because if he is in any sort of shape and form anyway on the same level as MaTeIRiA, dude, Bruce is gonna eat dirt. They're gonna eat dirt. So now you now gotta pick your poison. You either gotta ban Kucati, or you gotta ban MaTeIRiA. And you know what? Gatsby's there as well. Oh, that's gonna be so good. That's gonna be so good. I'm super excited for this. And yeah, guys, that's all for this video. Let me know how you feel about these units, right? And yeah, and as always, guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it. And see you with the next one. Deuces.